Yo, what's up, my people? What's up? What's up? Today I got a very special guest on my show, and I'm very happy to have him here because I've always have had a conversation with him to bring him onto my podcast show. Obviously, you guys are familiar with his face, but I'm going to introduce him like I introduce all my guests that come into my show. Today we have someone very special. He's a UK rapper. Mainstream rapper. He's featured on BBC Rap Game UK, which Crept and Conan obviously judged. Way before that, he's had music released that are hitting mad numbers. Please welcome to my show, Ransom. Please give him a round of applause, man. So that's his stage name. That's my man, Ransom. You know, come on, my brother. I'm happy to have you here, bro.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Obviously, I introduced you briefly, but like I say, we all know you're hitting 500,000, just under 500,000, and then you know these are minimum. You're touching as views, as numbers. So that's massive, bro. Yeah, like as in terms of numbers. You've been on GRM. You're independent. Yeah. You're from Scotland. Yeah. We said UK rapper, obviously it's United Kingdom, but you've been repping.
Bro, Scotland. Yeah, man. Obviously that's my thing. Obviously, you said one thing though. I got a couple videos that are 500,000, but not. I wouldn't say consistently. We're getting there.
But we're getting there. It's gonna get there, bro. God willing. It's gonna get there. Even in this today's day of age, like. I can only dream of getting 20,000 views or even 10,000 views. So like even 5,000 views.
And then even when you say views, what does that mean nowadays? Because essentially YouTube views, that's good, but you get paid more for Spotify, you get paid more for Apple Music, you get paid more for Tidal. So essentially what they want essentially is change.
Okay, let me touch down on that. Tell me more about that. So in terms of that's something really cool because people don't understand. They think YouTube and the views.
Because YouTube's good. Obviously YouTube, a lot of people built themselves from YouTube. But as musicians, for like your music going out, you can get a lot of money from streaming. Do you get what I'm saying? So essentially, as much views as you may get on YouTube, say you even get 1 million views and you're lucky to be that person. I believe, I'm not sure of the exact figures, but the 1 million view on YouTube doesn't even pay you nearly as much as what the 1 million would on Spotify, and then Apple Music pays you more, and then Tidal pays you more. So if people concentrate on building their music, you know what I mean?
Overall, then that's a bigger picture. Like
so that's what I'm saying. So nowadays, someone may have 100,000 views on YouTube, which is sick, but someone who has 100,000 views on Spotify is just as sick because they might even be getting paid more. So it's just that's a nice business move. So
that's. It definitely makes sense there, bro, and that's something for our youngsters and all the viewers to take on. Basically, YouTube is, I would kind of say, probably the baby out of most of them because Spotify, we know they're massive. YouTube's massive, don't get me wrong, but Spotify over the streams and what you're saying, you definitely get paid more. That I know that. YouTube pays the least, as far as I know.
YouTube's like, I'd say like YouTube, what YouTube is, it's like for videos, and that's where you can get yourself across. It's good for that. But like, say for like an actual musician releasing music, Spotify is a release platform, so they pay you per stream. I mean, at the moment, it's still not even great. Artists are trying to fight to get that more. Do you get what I mean? That's a whole different ball game. But I mean, in comparison to like, say, if you fight to get like 1 million views on like a channel or something, you're not even gonna get probably paid for that. Do you get what I mean? If it does get, like, if you get a video on like a big platform, which is sick, but then it gets a lot of views, I don't think you get paid for that. If anything, you may still even have to pay. So you still may have to pay. So essentially, some people nowadays want to focus on getting their streams going up on like different platforms, do you get what I mean, and all different things like that, like getting gigs or. So it's mad. I feel like now I've hopped into the industry, the level of success is completely defined differently depending on what that artist is trying to achieve, X, Y, Z, you know what I mean?
That's just brilliant, bro. Like, I can see by talking to you, you obviously know what you're talking about. And then the music thing, you obviously know your business side of things. Obviously, we've touched down on that subject because when I introduced you, we just got talking and everything. Moral of the show, obviously, I tell all my guests, is the come up. So before we even lose track, I want to really touch down on your come up. This is way before the fame, way before you even if I can take you back to school days or college days, that would be good, bro.
Alright, cool. Well, for me, in school, you can ask them times there. I grew up obviously in Scotland, in Aberdeen, and like obviously I knew that I always wanted to do music. I knew that rap music was always something that I wanted to pursue. I knew that somehow I was going to be in the industry, but because of where I was, and like obviously you know what it's like having, like, well, my family's African, do you get me? So if I went home, imagine going home telling your mum, listen, I'm a rapper. Do you get me?
That don't come right.
What? You're a point. No. You get me? It's stinks, you know what I mean? They'll be like, what?
Finish.
So my point is, they love you, but they have a mindset of what will work in a society. Do you know what I mean? They're like, oh, you know, it's very hard to break through. But and especially being in Scotland, they give you uni free. Do you get me? So imagine.
So as I was saying, bro, so being a young black man coming from Aberdeen and Scotland, your journey towards, obviously you started music like about 2016, you took it very serious. That's due to the conversation we've had prior to this interview, because I know you on a personal level, so it's a bit more easier for me. So I'm just gonna get down to it, man. I understand, obviously, being as a young black man towards your journey. Have you had any problems? Any being uncomfortable or feeling any type of way? Because I know it can be.
I mean,
difficult. I mean, it's not just being black, being Asian, or a different. I mean,
to a degree,
I'm just trying to understand how it works up there, and because I know music's not big up there.
Yeah, but because I guess I'm in rap music, in the industry that I'm trying to get into, majority of people. In fact, I've had idiots say racist things to me. Actually, do you get what I mean? Like,
which happens everywhere.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
But the way there's not really an infrastructure, the majority of people who are putting on gigs or like who are involved in the scene tend to not be racist, because rap is predominantly black. Do you get me? You can't be into rap and be racist, really, to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
That's the
truth. That's a good thing. So I mean, being young and having that journey, I believe, like you just said, you've not had any problems.
In terms of music, in terms of life and like just cutting about, I mean, I feel like, for instance, Scotland's quite a chill country generally. Like, it's more liberal than England. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying it's liberal. We have a lot of like extremists. A lot of like, sectarians.
Probably say it's more down to earth, like more relaxed up there.
The way of life's a bit different. Do you get what I mean? And like, obviously in Glasgow, there's a lot of sectarianism, and there's a lot of like. There's a divide between Rangers and Celtic and stuff like that.
There is,
But essentially, there's times where, of course, you feel uncomfortable. Like if you went to the countryside, you might go into a place and people will look at you like I remember I went on a work night out and we were driving about, and me and one of my other brethren, he's another black guy in it. So we were driving about and we were in like one of these party bus things from work or something these times. And then we were like pulling up to these country bars, and it's like, I swear, it was like as we walked in, it was like one of those places like, like you felt like the music stopped, everyone looked at you like
uncomfortable feeling.
Of course. So like, of course, like at that moment we were like, yo, this is awkward. It got to the point where like, yo, we're gonna kick in the car. These men are trying to lynch us or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
we had to.
So basically, you have. So obviously, everyone. I mean, you get that everywhere.
But I feel like now my point is, if I went to a country place in England, or just let's say a little bit further, like a bit out of London, I might feel the same thing. So when someone says to me, "Oh, you're Scotland bad," I'm just like, it's just like the UK. Do you get what I mean? Like the UK generally, if anything, I've found people in Scotland to be a bit more easygoing and liberal. Like the average person would just chat to you in Scotland, like, to get what I mean? We're relaxed. Like in Scotland, you could be on the bus and just be chatting to the old man. I mean, not generally. Like a lot of people are not really like that, but people are more friendly, like
more relaxed and friendly. I can believe that, because in London, all you see is like. Can you imagine every morning you wake up and you're going to work and everyone's just so tuned
Like,
into
it's
work.
like, it's because like you
there's
feel
no
like a
social life.
sardine. You're in like a
Yeah.
rhythm when you go into the the
robots.
tube. You're there like
it's
one
just-
like just,
yeah, it's crazy.
and you
man.
can't even be asked speaking to anyone because you know your journey is a minimum hour.
It ain't
minimum.
even about us speaking. Forget about being asked to speak to anyone. Try even saying hello to someone at 6 o'clock, like when they just finished work.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna
it's
get a bad response, bro.
It's just so
Everyone's
long,
depressed
bro.
or something. Like
I
it's just
feel
mad.
like people are a bit more generally like relaxed, I guess, in
In
Scotland.
Scotland, yeah. No, that's good to hear, man.
But I mean, everywhere has its issues. You get me?
Yeah, no. Everyone. It's just mad everywhere, bro. You can't really say one place
You just got the
is
truth is,
without it. Nothing's perfect.
character
man.
talks. I feel like a racist is a human, and even if you meet a racist, if your character's strong enough, racists can't say shit to you.
No,
You get me?
because it don't bother you. It don't. it's
Not even
really
if it don't bother you, they'll know that they can't say nothing that will make sense. That can like racist people try and will try and maybe block something for somebody. Like if you have enough character, you could just say that can't run to the point where it's
Well,
like,
I know a lot of real people. Like, sorry to stop you, man. Like,
Yeah,
I know,
no,
I know
of
a
course.
couple of real people. Like, our friends here that, when I said it don't bother you, like when someone does it, it doesn't bother them, so they avoid the situation. So they don't take it further. Otherwise, it can get a bit sticky. But what they think of is, and which I know is that they're so much more massive as an individual. Because they're raising so much more awareness in terms of racism and all that kind of stuff, that when someone is acting that way and is just out of control, I know certain individuals just don't bother with people like that. They just think, they say what they have to say, and if that person doesn't accept it, then they're so much bigger because they're out there trying to raise awareness to millions. And one person, and having an argument with one person, and it can get sticky, like I said, can ruin so much for millions of other people that you're trying to put a message out for, and your message is bigger.
and it can give the racist people almost a point to say, oh, but so it's like it's a lose-lose situation sometimes. But then obviously it's like that saying, an eye for an eye leaves everyone blind. Do you get me? So
Definitely.
if we're gonna do that, then no one will see the truth in it.
Yeah, I wanted to say to you why I raised that subject. Particularly is obviously because we've got the whole BLM situation going on, and there's a few of your fans that reached out to me and obviously said to me as well, can you ask him how he feels, because they could be in the same position where they're trying to pursue music and in the exact same position as you, and they're trying to move forward with this career, but they just want to know in advance that the people they will meet throughout their journey, is it going to be a tough ride or is it going to be a okay ride?
I get you.
That's
In
why
the
I
music
raised
journey.
that's why I raised how
get
does
you.
it feel being a young black man raising it
From Scotland.
from Scotland,
Entering the
because
music
that's the whole and then you got the BLM situation going on.
yeah.
So I thought to myself, we've had London, what's going on, but I haven't heard, like, I don't know, maybe I haven't even researched, but I don't know what's going on.
The maddest
so
thing
I'm
is,
like,
the
I know
biggest
you.
issue, the biggest issue for an artist, say a guy like me up in Scotland, isn't actually anyone else in Scotland.
Okay.
The biggest issue they'll have is the man down south, trying to convince the man down south that they're serious. Do you get what I mean?
Okay. So
that's the biggest issue.
The biggest issue.
Biggest issue, full stop, because people in Scotland, of course, there's not people in Scotland may not support you necessarily, but that's because the gatekeepers, which is the UK scene in London, if for instance they accept you, like a lot of people see me in a rap game and now they fuck with me, do you get what I mean? But maybe prior to that it didn't. They were like, oh, he's alright. But what changed? I got validation from down south. My point is,
people from London.
Yeah, my point is, what will stop your hardest obstacle will be maybe not as much nowadays, which we thank God, and I'm trying to break the barrier. There's other artists doing that from Scotland and all over the UK, trying to do that, so it's not even a thing when you hear an accent from a different place. But what could stop you is the fact people be like, oh, he's good, but I can't really take his accent, or just different things like that.
Little things
that
like
will
that.
be in the industry what you'll try and have to fight. Do you get what I mean? Or what I had to fight coming up. Do you get what I mean?
So obviously, guys, you can hear what he's saying. He's obviously experienced it. To the young viewers from Aberdeen, from Scotland, and for the guys that reached out to me, put it in short. Journey will be okay, but then you might have a little tough ride in terms of your accent. But then that's just regarding
Fun with the sound effects.
Come on.
Come on.